What's up, guys? Here with you with FC Wonderkid, episode 52. Here with my guy, Breton. How are you?
I'm awesome. How are you? You always ask me. I never throw it right back to you. Alex, how are you doing this weekend?
I'm pretty confident about this podcast because I think this weekend had a ton of questions answered. And I think you know where I'm going to, right?
Sure.
And I think it's probably quite obvious. So Cristiano Ronaldo decided that this week all the haters are gonna be silenced, and Cristiano Ronaldo, recorded his 60th career hat trick. And this is pretty crazy what I'm gonna say next. 30 hat tricks after the age of 30. Unbelievable. 6 points guaranteed with Norwich and Spurs, okay? That without him, Man United wouldn't even be close to getting them. So if there was a hero needed, that was him. So
no doubt, man, no doubt. And I love what Cristiano said right after the game. He goes, 30 before 30, 30 after 30, and that he's looking forward to unevening the scales because he might be scoring 10, 15 more before he ever hangs up the boots. No doubt.
Do you reckon he'll get another one in the Premier League this season?
Oh, yeah. I mean, they have some tough fixtures coming up, don't they?
He'll get it.
I think their next two games, if he's going to do it, I'm sure all United fans would welcome that. Yeah.
Arsenal, right?
I think it's Arsenal, and then is it Liverpool? Liverpool maybe is on its way. Yeah, I think Liverpool plays United next midweek. On Wednesday.
Yeah, that's a big one. And I'm telling you, Ronaldo in a top 4 race. If Man United are gonna get the top 4, it's with Cristiano Ronaldo 100%. Because the more chances that are created towards Cris, the more wins are guaranteed for United. I've got so much to say, Brett. So what were your thoughts on the overall game with Norwich?
Oh, well, it is Norwich. And I do understand the people that are saying pump your brakes, do this, do that. When it comes to the fact that it is Norwich City and Manchester United should be beating them, right? And it shouldn't take a late phenomenal set piece for Ronaldo to do that. But at the same time, none of that matters when you're in a race for European football. It doesn't matter who you're playing. What matters is you get the 3 points. And you don't kind of consolidate fourth place, but you're getting closer to, and you're threatening that and making third place your own. So it doesn't matter that who he scored it against. It mattered that it happened and that they're 3 points closer to, locking in that position. They needed that momentum. They needed it badly, and Ronaldo gave it to him, and there was no doubt that Elanga had a great game. Anthony Elanga, I thought. David De Gea had a pretty good game, right?
Great save. Pretty clutch save. The 2-2, in the 2-2, there was a clutch moment by De Gea, 100%.
Yeah, and then you have the Paul Pogba shade at the end of it. So there was a little drama too, even in a win. But yeah, I'm going to be a little more impressed if Ronaldo drops 3 on a Liverpool or on an Arsenal or whoever they play next, and he's got fixtures coming up. They've got all attention on consolidating that spot, making that spot their own, and ensuring Champions League football for Manchester United next year. And whether or not that happens, it is. I agree right now. Ronaldo is literally the only person that can help them score their way to that position this year. As you and I were talking beforehand, it's my problem with Ronaldo is long-term, right? It's medium to long-term. And it's not really a problem. It's just that if United want, that team identity back, at some point Ronaldo needs to be coached off the team and moved on in a way that obviously is befitting of the world-class player that he is. It's just they need to find an identity because Ronaldo will not be there for 3, 5, 7, 10 years.
100%.
That's all I'm saying.
100%.
But no doubt, if they get Champions League football this year, if they hunt down Chelsea for the third spot, okay, it has everything to do with Cristiano Ronaldo being every part of that.
I agree.
So,
and I'll tell you something. So you think next season, if Cristiano Ronaldo stays at Man United, they'll have a worse season? So,
you know, I don't know. New boss, new control. Obviously, we all saw the media reports, possibly rumors, whatever. That if Ten Hag comes in, and he's actually in the process of potentially losing the Dutch Cup final. If Ten Hag comes in for United, who knows what he's going to want, right? And I know that the rumors were, and you have strong opinions on it, but I know that the rumors were that Ten Hag is going to immediately axe Ronaldo and send him out the door. I find it very hard to believe that that's going to be the case. That I agree with you completely that seems like rag font.
I'd say it's pretty. It's not bold. For me, it's idiotic right now to say that Erik Ten Hag has a decision made already for Cristiano Ronaldo, okay? And there's another stat. There's 13 points, okay? Ronaldo single-handedly in game-winning games, okay, he's had for Man United. That's something very important. And I have something here, and that for me is the key, okay? Because you talk about Man United's future. And I absolutely agree with you that Ronaldo in 5 years' time will not be at Man United. I even going to say this. After next season, he won't be at Man United 100%. Next season will be 100% fact, in my opinion, that he stays at Man United. And I'm going to say this. For me, the players that want Ronaldo to stay, like Elanga wants Ronaldo to stay. Sancho wants Ronaldo to stay. Bruno Fernandes wants Ronaldo to stay. I'm sure Varane wants Ronaldo to stay. Garnacho, we all know what Garnacho wants. And he wants the GOAT Ronaldo to stay. And all these players are the ones that are having a really positive impact towards Man United. And I think Erik Ten Hag will understand that the captaincy, okay, and a lot of players like Jones, Matic, okay, I love Matic, but he's got to go. Mata, Pogba, the midfield was the problem against Norwich. The midfield. And honestly, look, they need someone. We always say it. If you're an FC Wonderkid follower, you know that me and Breton stress 100% that Ollie failed without getting the CDM. And they are failing right now because they don't have that midfielder. So that's what I think. I really think Ronaldo and Erik Ten Hag are going to be a bold duo that's going to change the United culture. I believe in that, Breton. So
yeah, I mean,
let's see.
Let's see. And I love that you brought up Garnacho in the end, because that was some great what was it on Instagram? Some great Instagram shade that what's his name, Kun Aguero threw at him. But to push back on Kun Aguero's response, saying that you've never played with him, we do know that Garnacho was recently at the Argentinian national team camp. So in fact, he did train with him, if not play with him.
Yes,
but all of that just is to sell papers and bullshit. Use my language. Someone's gonna have to beat that out. I'm sorry, because I agree with you. It is crap, and it's like the age old. While I understand it's clickbait and it's wonderful, the age old Messi and Ronaldo, who's better? I know you and I love to have our opinions. Mine is like statistically based, whatever you want to call it. But in the end, can't we all just agree that whatever Ronaldo has left to give, whatever Messi has left to give to the game of football, let's just squeeze it out and get them in a place where they both can give us the best football they have.
Give me that World Cup, Ronaldo. Give me that. That's what I'm feeling, Breton. That's what I think. That's why I think he's really not going to leave United, because like Ronaldo's all about preparation, man. And when you're saying that with a World Cup in December, he's like, I don't want to move. Georgina's more than fine here. And we all know Rei Krish is a pretty big celebrity in England, man. That kid is bold, okay, with Luvet Pedreiro. I'm loving the vibe too with him. So that's the Ronaldo talk, people, okay? Leave your thoughts. Do you think he's got to go? Tell us in the comment section, okay? We love to know. But talking about top four, There's other two teams. It's not just United. And both teams, London teams, Tottenham and Arsenal, lose. Tottenham loses 1-0 to Brighton, and Arsenal loses 1-0 to Southampton. Oh my days. That was unexpected. That was unexpected.
Well, it was. I mean, wow. What, like, with Arsenal's fixture list, when we were looking at it months ago, a month or two ago, we were like, wow, it really looks like Arsenal is going to consolidate that fourth place. Like, it is going to be fourth place for Arsenal. They're going to get Champions League football because it was Watford. It was Southampton. I mean, these are teams that you absolutely need to beat in order to prove to people that, you know, your system's working or your system is progressing. But at the same time, they've been riding a wave of momentum for a very, very long time, and a dip in form was inevitable, but at the same time, you wouldn't expect it to happen against these teams. So I'm most shocked around Arsenal right now, because Tottenham, I get it, there's going to be growing pains with Conte, and they went from doing really well to wow, having losing ground. So the Arsenal Southampton loss, unreal. And Fraser Forster was a big reason because of that. I mean, his goalkeeping display was awesome against them. But they're still in it, you know? Tottenham, United, they're all at each other's throats, and this is what we love. While there's also a title challenge in the Premier League. Like, sign me up for this every year. I am here for it because I don't care who lands where. I just want, competition. There was a point 5 months ago where we thought City was running away with us, and they weren't even going to look behind. So this situation is amazing because it sets us up for the last month sprint, and I am 100% here for it. So, but yeah, which one was more shocking to you? Was it Arsenal Southampton or?
For me, shocking was Tottenham, but because Arsenal right now are in the third straight loss, okay? And I'm not going to blame, like we said last podcast, listen to our podcast, people. We're repeating here saying that they should get that midfielder because Lokonga, next to Partey, I'm not going to say, like, I love Lokonga. I think he's going to be an excellent midfielder in the future, but not right now. They need a Tielema. We stress always Tielema. And we're going to talk about Bruno Guimarães next. Why not? If they had gotten Bruno Guimarães, Arsenal might have won this game against Southampton. Just saying that. And the other thing is the lack of striker that is pretty obvious. Anyone knows that they need a striker. But going with Tottenham, I want to say some things because, yes, it was the shocking one because for me, Tottenham are just getting every single detail refined by Antonio Conte. And I said it on live and I'm going to say it right now on pod. I believe 100%, okay, that Antonio Conte is going to win a trophy for Tottenham with the right backing in the summer. Okay? He needs the right backing in the summer. If he gets it, I really believe he gets that trophy, okay? And I'm just going to say two things that Conte does, and it's not common to see. And this just shows in the Premier League, the competition, it's at the highest level. So these little things that he does is things that you don't see at Man United maybe right now. And I'm going to say they have hired with Antonio Conte 3 times the fitness coaches, okay, to get that fitness up at Tottenham. And something huge that Conte does is he gives a daily analysis to his players on what to improve, how to improve, where to be on the pitch, every single detail, what to improve at home. Do your homework, okay? Conte is that guy. So that level of intensity puts Tottenham at the highest level, and that's why I think the chance has never been higher with Tottenham. Kulusevski went good. Bentancur went good. So I think everything's going very well, and believe in Conte, Tottenham fans. Please, man. Please.
It is funny that the two people you just named were the people brought in essentially after Conte was, signed, right? Or maybe it was right before. I don't know, but he had
after.
Yeah. So Bentancur and Kulusevski, sure, has been great, but I was shocked. I absolutely was shocked because Brighton. I mean, I don't think Spurs. They had a shot on goal all game. They might have had 4 or 5 shots total, but Brighton had 5 shots on goal, at least 12 shots total. And then it took a late winner from Trossard, who's become like their go-to guy if you need a late winner from Brighton. But also, I mean, Mark Cucurella, again, showed us there was a little dip in form here and there. I mean, collectively with Brighton, there was a dip in form. But that was like, I wouldn't call it a Graham Potter masterclass, but like that was a pretty well done display from Brighton. I think they just nudged them on possession. I mean, they were all over the pitch, and they definitely dominated that second half. So like Cucurella, Busuma, you look at this with what Brighton has, them in 10th place. They've solidified this, like they were in the running and starting to move their way down the table into relegation scraps, right? And they have since lit up their form, and now they're 10th place, and they're like the best of the middle of the pack, next to Brentford. And Brentford, if we go from Brighton to Brentford pretty quickly, because we got to give them a little shout, because I think they've got three wins in a row.
Eriksen effect.
Yeah, it's the Eriksen effect. It absolutely is. It's the warrior spirit, whatever you want to call it. I mean, these guys are playing good ball, entertaining ball, I gotta say too. And they're now in 11th place. After a bad run of form, they have collectively kind of recentered, and Christian Eriksen did it again. 95th minute, match-winning assist. I think it was on the head of one of the big Scandinavian center backs. I think it was Janssen. And boom, there you go. Brentford winning a game against Watford, a game they need to win, a game they should win, which Arsenal can't figure out. And they get it done, and they move their way up. So Brighton and Brentford are two moving forward that I have a really, really fond heart for, even if they don't wind up ever cracking the top 5 or top 6. They are great. I just love to watch them. It feels like Wolves a couple years ago when they came in, and I hope that they can solidify and increase the caliber of that middle of the table pack in the Prem.
Great shout to both teams, but I'm gonna shout a different vibe here, because it's the vibe that I think it's the winning culture for the future, because in 10 years this team might have a Champions League in their locker. And that is Newcastle, 100%, Fredson. Yes, because Newcastle have their 5th straight home win, and my boy Bruno Guimarães, Máquina, with a late winner and the first player this season to score 2 goals for Newcastle. Bruno Guimarães is going bold, and they keep on performing extremely well. And watching that game, I was like, Matt Target, he's balling. Dan Burn, he's playing very well. Willock and Shelby, I like them. Joe Ellington, not bad. Eddie Howe, masterclass. Every single player at Newcastle, its value is going up and up. Almiron, Saint Maxime, I'm a bit, I don't know with him, but the rest, I'm so happy, man. And I really think next season, I don't know, I'm not gonna go bold still, but I'm gonna say this: great job, Eddie Howe, and keep going bold, Newcastle, trusting Bruno Guimarães. 3 goals this season already.
No, I'm with you. I mean, Bruno. I'm going to make a dad joke here. We have to talk about Bruno. In our family, my little daughter listens to this Disney movie called Encanto, and there's a song called "We Don't Talk About Bruno."
Oh yes.
Well, it's like electric now. Everybody knows it. Everyone that has a young kid knows what it is. Well, we have to talk about Bruno here, because this particular Bruno has now won me over. In that sense, I told. Every time we talk about him, I'm like, we got to pump the brakes. This guy is going to take some time getting used to playing at St. James Park. He's going to take some time getting used to Newcastle and the Premier League. And he is already the one thing, even if he's not playing his best football yet, if there's one thing that he's definitely picked up on, it's if you work your butt off for 90 minutes, or you work your butt off to grab and scrape, two great goals. That second goal, that late winner, was amazing, because that is Newcastle spirit right there, right? That is not like, I'm going to dance with the ball and drop a phenomenal chip shot or a Trivela past the goalkeeper. That was just rough and tumble, running your butt down the pitch, making sure you got in the right position that if it deflected like it did and it landed in your path, you were going to put that ball in the net. And that's exactly what Bruno did. And frankly, I didn't know he had that in his locker, right? I didn't know that he was the guy that would be, dead sprint all the way at the end, late in the game. I'm pretty sure that's Newcastle spirit. If I don't, fight until the end, that's pretty awesome. So we have to talk about Bruno because he is going to be a big piece moving forward. And they didn't just beat Watford or Norwich or whoever.
Yes.
They beat Leicester City, and Leicester City just advanced. So, I'm excited. I'm excited for them too. And I know I called for them to get relegated. Well, here I am. Eating crow. And happily.
That's it. And yeah, Leicester, they're dipping. That's a team that's dipping. And yeah, we can start going with, let's talk about Liverpool and FA Cup. No, before we go to the European competitions.
Some more recent notes before we revisit the past for a little bit. But that game, while it wasn't a carbon copy of great football, like we saw the week prior in their Premier League goal, that was a game of mistakes. That was a game of what I think was bad starting 11 construction on Pep's part. And obviously I didn't say who made the mistakes, but we all know who made them. But it was also a game of incisive finishing. And when Sadio Mane got a sniff of the goal, boom, done. It was over. And it was also a game of Thiago.
Yes. Great point that you did, Bretson. And I'm going to say this. Yes, I agree with you. Guardiola putting Grealish as striker in the first half. He clearly didn't put that intensity that Alisson and Virgil van Dijk and Konate was feeling the pressure. That's in the second half. Konate got some mistakes because that pressure that was lacking in the first half, people, it arrived with Mahrez, and he was putting that pressure centrally. And that it was frustrating to see. But as for Liverpool, I just want to say this. Konate, I am hyped that you did that Attack on Titan celebration, man, okay? You know your anime. I gotta say that. Yeah. So that was really cool. So I gotta give my respect to Konate. And look, what's him with the corners? What is it with the corners, man? 22 years old. He's got like 2 against Benfica. Now a menace against City. Jeez, and I gotta say this. Klopp, I think he knows. I think Klopp knows already. The best midfield of Liverpool, in my opinion, doesn't have Henderson. It's Fabinho, Naby Keita, and Thiago Alcantara. That is the best midfield, in my opinion, currently for Liverpool in form. And I gotta say another stat. Klopp is the only manager ever to have 10 wins over your Guardiola. So this rivalry is just getting started, baby. So let's see what's gonna happen. And it seems they're always gonna be in the confrontation, Klopp and Guardiola. So I am hyped. So
and I just gotta say, man,
quadruple.
Do you think there would have been a different outcome? Do you think maybe Liverpool could have opened a lead in the Premier League, or won games more comfortably?
Yes.
If Thiago had been in form or had been, let's see, I don't know, not fighting fitness the majority of the season.
I wouldn't say Thiago. If they had Luis Diaz since the start of this season, I think Liverpool would be already with the title, maybe. Honestly, I think that the rotation, the squad rotation by Jurgen Klopp, I think he's the best manager in the world doing that. What I saw against Benfica, he did the changes. They looked really good still. They got it's the squad rotation. It's so elite.
Yeah. Yeah, and I have to say, I thought it was a Pep misstep. I just don't understand why you would rotate the squad. I think it was 4 or 5 players that are different. I know you believe in your squad, but why rotate them for the FA Cup semifinal when, I get it, you got Brighton and you've got Watford coming up. Now, we might find that Liverpool gets, beat up on Wednesday or Thursday whenever they play Manchester United. They might get beat up because they didn't make the same miscalculation or the same calculation. But it just feels to me like, you have only so many times to play this team. You've won points against them. You've done what you need to do against Liverpool this year, at least in the Premier League. Why would you do that? Why would you do that and tinker in a game that these guys obviously want to win?
So many
so
matches right now, and they have a boogeyman coming with Real Madrid. But I just want to say, last things with
but
Klopp is like Klopp did something this season, and I really think this is a variable that is underrated with Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp. He hired a German neuroscience team to be with the team since preseason, okay, and they help 100% in terms of focus, and which therefore mentally helps for set pieces and in moments that anticipates an occasion. So Jurgen Klopp is unbelievable in every single variable. He seems to be getting it done. German efficiency, a team of neuroscientists. Like, no wonder Konate, which is a youngster, he's still learning. With these guys, he's getting corners non-stop, man. So keep on doing you, Klopp. And yeah, maybe they're saying to Jota, this is where you have to be for those headers into Konate. So those neuroscientists know what they're doing, man. So big up, masterclass by Klopp.
well, just one last thing, because and then I'll ask you who you think is going to win the final, because obviously Chelsea dispatched Crystal Palace relatively easily. So we've got a Liverpool-Chelsea final, and Chelsea will be looking to win after losing the FA Cup final quite frequently over the last few years. But I gotta ask, or I gotta say, I know, especially on this side of the pond, there's a lot of ribbing about Zach Steffen and the mistake that he's made. But Pep has made it a point to play his backup goalkeeper, right? Backup goalkeeper in all of these competitions, right? And Zach Steffen has lifted trophies because of that. Okay, so that mistake, while it was tough to see, what I see it as, and this kind of echoes a lot of what is going around, in America, at least on American football Twitter, is that everybody's worried about the 9 with the U.S. men's national team in the World Cup. It is worrying to me that Zach Steffen does not play week in, week out. It is worrying to me. And frankly, it is probably time for him to move. He needs to go somewhere else. He needs to leave. I get it. You're making a whole lot of money, but man, at least push for a loan, because otherwise somebody else is going to come take your job when the time comes, because mistakes like that generally don't happen if you're playing week in and week out. And it's funny because Ederson did a very similar thing with the same nonchalance, right, against Liverpool a week prior.
Yeah, but
or was that midweek in Champions League?
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Did a similar thing, and Steffen does it, and he's just he's just immensely way too slow for any of this. Way too slow on the decision making and whatnot. But he's got to pick his head up, and he's got to come back. And the issue is if you're not playing week in and week out, you got to wait until your next choice, and wait until Pep, graces you with another position. He's good enough to play, number one for certain teams, right? Not Manchester City. All right. And it's the same with Matt Turner with us. It's the same with Ethan Horvath. It's the same with every goalkeeper that wears an American shirt, except for Gabriel Slonina. But we got to figure that out, because I feel bad for Steffen. It hasn't happened before, but man, it's
great show. And you talked about Chelsea fast, and they got that win against Crystal Palace, which that was not an easy game, 2-0, but not easy for Chelsea. And I want to highlight a player fast, but I think he deserves it. It is Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Okay, he seems to finally found his groove back in the squad with Tuchel. And look, I think the culture, okay, they're having the takeover and problems aroused with that. But Chelsea with Tuchel, they're doing everything they can for it to progress and to be improvements in the future. With Mount is playing well. Bold Mount is playing well. You got Kai Havertz, that I think he wants to be that iconic guy at Chelsea. You got Reece James, that some people think he's going to Real Madrid. You don't know, but let's see. But and yes, Loftus-Cheek, I think he wants to stay at London. And players like that, I think they are the future of Chelsea. So cementing them, that is the way to go. And going quickly now to City. You mentioned Zach Steffen. I agree. That for me was pretty bad. And if for the World Cup, you guys need someone that's hot in form. And so I think that is excellent advice. Excellent advice, in my opinion. And I just want to say this. Fernandinho is going to be his last season at Man City. And Fernandinho has 4 Premier League titles. He's got 1 FA Cup and 6 league cups, okay, with your boy Zach Steffen too. So it's like Fernandinho is going to be a huge miss in the future of Man City because that Rodri replacement ain't easy. Easy. And if they're keeping someone that's 36 years old, okay, with Guardiola, it clearly has a reason. And Fernandinho is a boss. One of the most underrated CDMs in the history of the Premier League. I'm going to say that.
Yeah.
So
he was originally plucked from, was he Shakhtar Donetsk back in the day?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, he was one of those Brazilian. So he was Fred before he was Fernandinho was which one? Fred was Fernandinho. Because Fred was Shakhtar Donetsk as well. But no, I mean Fernandinho, yeah, I mean he's got to go down as like a cult hero for them, right? Absolutely. I mean the tenacity that he plays, he doesn't get enough credit in my opinion. And it sounds like people are really starting to warm up to the fact that he deserves a whole lot more credit than he is. He's leaving on his own terms. He probably could have waited to announce it. So there wasn't this weird stuff like, oh wait, I didn't know he was actually leaving by the end of the season. But ultimately, no, the dude's a legend. It's a good argument to make that that if he's not in a lot of these squads, some of the championships they've won, they might not have won them. But he's a phenomenal player, and I wonder, he'll probably go back to Brazil, right? That's what they've said.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go. Like Marcelo, I think he's going to. So Fernandinho will go too. I think that's the go to Flamengo. Vai para Flamengo, Fernandinho. Go Paul Sousa. Let Gabigol there. You never know. Let's see what's gonna happen. But leading up to competitions, and City's still in one. European competitions time, Champions League time, and boy, I love these quarterfinals. I think these quarterfinals were one of the best in these past few years in the Champions League. Benzema. The vibes about Benzema, man. The game against Chelsea, that tension. Oh my days. Even Benfica. Good on you for the Portuguese, pá. Benfica jogaram muito bem. So I just want to say on the City side, big up on Guardiola. 9th time consecutive, I think. It's the 9th time heading to the semifinals of the Champions League by Guardiola. Elite stats, okay? Just want to get that started. And City, that ain't easy. That ain't easy. Most all time? Oh,
most all time, definitely. I believe the most all time previous to that was 8. Ancelotti's got to be up there, and then I forget who the other one is. But absolutely, I mean, what Guardiola has done with Manchester, I mean, Klopp. There's just so much to unpack over this last week. It's almost hard to do it when it's not very fresh in your head. But that Real Chelsea second leg was probably one of the most entertaining games of football that I've seen in a very long time. And I honestly believed, you take the first 65, 70 minutes of that game, and you're basically saying there is no way Chelsea's not walking out of here with this. And then you have that Luka Modric Trivela. And then and by the way, Rodrigo Goes, is that how you say that last name? Did I get it right with Portuguese?
Rodrigo Gomes?
Rodrigo, yeah, his last, I don't know, whatever. But he winds up putting that away. I just, that Real Chelsea game was heartbreaking if you're obviously a Chelsea fan. But man, if you're a neutral, that game was just so much fun to watch. But yeah, Benzema, 38 goals on the year, 13 assists. Vinicius with the decisive assist. And they've coined a new term, right? You heard it. Vinicius said it himself. I hadn't seen it before this past week, so I might be under a rock or something. But Benzema was on full display in that extra time. But that obviously was my favorite leg, aside from Bayern not being able to get it done against Villarreal.
Where did you see that, man? But that is bold, man. Benzema is bold. I like that duo. I'll be honest. But the duo that I'm like really like, I'm sensitive now. I'm really loving is Benzema and Luka Modric, man. These two, I have no doubt in my mind that these two are going to be Galactico legends, okay? Hall of Fame. But those two, man. And in the last 12 seasons, Real Madrid have gone to 10 Champions League, okay? So that is elite level semifinals. Elite levels. And I want to say, too, that game against Chelsea, you said 60th, 70th minute, everything changed. I completely agree with you, Bretson. And the game changed the moment that Toni Kroos left and Camavinga was put on. And we saw that the present and future of the Galacticos is with Camavinga and Mbappe. If he was watching that game, we all know he was hyped about that one because that French connection, oh my days. Vini, Benzema, Mbappe, Camavinga maybe. Oh, it's just Camavinga, no, there. Chouameni maybe. Oh. Yeah. So maybe. I'm really hyped about Real and Real against Man City. I think you get a feeling where I'm leaning to, but we can get those quick fire. But Liverpool, Villarreal, Liverpool, Villarreal. I just want to give a quick shout out to Darwin Núñez. Okay, that game against Liverpool at Anfield. Okay, I got to give big ups on him, and he's got. Darwin Núñez has 6 goals in this Champions League at 22 years old. Goals against Liverpool, Barca, Bayern, and Ajax, okay? A lot of players even have problems scoring 1 goal against these teams, and he scored 6 of them. So I'm not 100% now with Darwin's going to go. I'm 200% sure that Darwin's going to go because his agent is Jorge Mendes right now. He changed agent and it's Jorge Mendes. And that 70, 80 million that he's asking, it's easily going to be given to Benfica, okay? I really believe he's going to leave for that fee. And Jorge Mendes masterclass with that one with Darwin Núñez. So
it's going to be really interesting to see where he winds up. But if we're talking about, the defeated, right? Mm-hmm. Darwin Núñez obviously was great for Benfica. We also have to talk about Chelsea. We talked about him obviously in Premier League mode. Mm-hmm. But if you're a Chelsea supporter right now, with everything that is hanging over your head, right, with this craziness that is ongoing and still in flux, you got to be really proud of a lot of these players. Yeah. I mean, the majority of these players. Antonio Rudiger, for like the majority of that game, he looked at times he looked like freaking Franz Beckenbauer out there. Like going libero, just straight up, like taking people on. He was absolutely just everywhere, like bull in china shop, up in the air, winning tackles. None of the Real Madrid players wanted to go into a tackle with him because they knew they'd come out worse off if they did. And I completely agree with you. Kai Havertz is doing everything he can, everything he can to be the person that they obviously paid for, right? To be the player that they paid big bucks for. And he has 8 goals in his last 11 games. I actually don't know if he scored today. I don't think he did versus Crystal Palace. But he has tried his absolute best to be it. And I still think he's going to come really good up to this and work his way up to Chelsea supporters, expectations. But you got to be proud of them. And what they put into that. But that Real Madrid, Manchester City, that fixture is going to that's got me drooling, frankly. But I did have to bring up Rudiger. I absolutely agree that with Camavinga getting put in like the 73rd minute, that really did provide this pop of energy, this bite that was needed, that allowed Modric that little room that he could get to pop that phenomenal Trivela assist to Rodriga to push things on. But we're talking about City, we're talking about Benfica, we're talking about all these other ones, but come on, we got to give Villarreal their due.
100%. And like
Samu Chukwueze, man, Unai Emery masterclass again.
2 goals in both legs, and 2 shots on target, 2 goals.
Yeah.
What?
Amazing.
What? Amazing. That's what I gotta say. And I saw some like trash talk between Nagelsmann and Dani Parejo, and I'm with Dani Parejo. Nagelsmann was way too confident before the first leg, and even in the second leg before it, he's like, they will regret coming to the Allianz Arena. Yeah, right. Dani Parejo is 33 years old, and Nagelsmann is 34. So in Parejo's mind, he's like, this kid doesn't know what he's talking about as a manager. I am sure that is his state of mind. And look, big up to Villarreal, Samuel Chukwueze, Gerard Moreno, Dani Parejo, Pau Torres. Ai, Jesus, que equipa! But Villarreal, I'm sorry, man. The preparation and the rotation that I mentioned at the start of the pod, like, it can't be equaled. And I think Liverpool are just gonna Unai Emery. Yeah. I think Liverpool, but respect to Villarreal to getting to this Champions League semi-final. And I have to say too, again, I saw that Twitter account of Villarreal mentioning Attack on Titan. So big up on Villarreal, knowing anime too. And I had to say that too, man. I love that banter. So
are we getting paid by Attack on Titan?
No,
here?
man, I'm just a super fanboy.
Because I'd be okay with that. I mean, I don't watch it, which unfortunately I guess takes me down a few pegs with our listeners. But yeah, that's I didn't know there was that much Attack on Titan.
They love it. I love it. They
love
it.
Over the last week. Well, that one, yeah, Liverpool, Villarreal. Hell, if Liverpool can do what they did and put out a guy like Tsimikas on the left, and then he 100% shows that he's a Champions League footballer, right? I mean, he put in a great performance there. He was one of my favorite to watch on that field. I mean, it looked. I thought it was Robertson in some respects. I was surprised. He was phenomenal. So Liverpool, Villarreal, that'll be a fun one, I think, although a little more tactical. But I don't think Klopp's going to let him get too crazy.
Yes.
I think he's going to take it on, and then obviously everybody's going to be watching this City. Wow, this City Real Madrid is going to be great. So I gotta go. Let's go right away. Real Madrid versus Manchester City. Who's winning?
I think Real Madrid are gonna get it done. Benzema. I think Ballon d'Or is all on his mind. So who you go with?
I'm gonna go with Real Madrid too. I gotta ride this horse. I said Real Madrid was going to do it against Chelsea. I think they're going to do it against City. And then it's Liverpool, Villarreal. You have Liverpool. I heard you say that earlier. So.
Liverpool. Yeah, Liverpool. So the final, I think for Liverpool, they would prefer City than Real Madrid. And that says a lot. I think Klopp, that final, man. I know there's no Ramos, there's Bale. There's Bale still there, but like, let's see, people. Put in the comment section what you think is going to happen in the Champions League. And let's get to the Europa League because, wow, disappointment time at Barca. And both fixtures, semi-finals are Leipzig against Rangers. And we have West Ham against Frankfurt. Oh, I wanted West Ham Barca. But
I love it. Didn't I tell you after Rangers vanquished Red Star Belgrade that they have a chance to win this thing?
You did. You did say Rangers. You think Tavernier is gonna go bold 100%?
He generally does in pretty big games, and unfortunately, Rangers obviously would rather play probably West Ham and Frankfurt before they play Red Bull Leipzig. But unfortunately, that's who they got next. But yeah, Tavernier. I mean, and the Ibrox is just it's a different place. It's I wouldn't call it a fortress, although. Actually, I think it was at Celtic Park, or I don't know where it was. I think Rangers they went down 1-0 and they beat Celtic today, 2-1. So they're building momentum right now after it looked like Celtic had them on the ropes. So we'll see what happens. But man, Red Bull Leipzig versus Atalanta. It was Cristo and Kunku just doing it again. Opened the scoring in, I think it was pretty early on, like the 18th minute. He then drew the penalty and converted the penalty in the 86th minute. Atalanta never looked as dangerous as Leipzig did. And I have to say right now, Red Bull Leipzig is the favorite to win this thing.
You were always within Kunku and Leipzig, man. I have to give it on you. That's 100% true. And I'm going to say Tavernier, just to put it out. Tavernier has more than 25 goal involvements this season for Rangers. He's got 12 goals and 14 assists. He's a fullback, people. And oh my days, joint top scorer too in the Europa League. Oh my days. But yes.
And he's the reason why Nathan Patterson had to leave, right? Because he looked at it and James Tavernier basically... You're not going to get game time or as much game time as you probably deserve as a top prospect of Rangers until this guy decides to move on. He's a club legend for sure.
And he goes to the Prem. But like the worst thing, like for me, like you said it, Atalanta got the unfortunate of having to go against the best player right now in Europa League. Is no doubt in my mind, and in yours too, right? And Kunku with already 30 goals and only behind big boy Benzema and Kylian Mbappe this season, okay?
Yeah.
And look, Rangers, watch out because Nkunku, I don't know. Like right now, Nkunku is so lethal. He's so, I don't know for how much is Leipzig negotiating for him to go, but it's bold. It's bold. He ain't staying another season. September, he's in another place. Oh my!
It is, and it has to be said. He did break a record, and it's a pretty big record. He broke Timo Werner's record for most goal involvements in a season. He now has 48 goal involvements, and he tied it first early in the game with 47, and then now he's got 48. So he's got sole control of that club record. So if he does leave, at least he's got his name in the record books. But 30 goals, man. 30 goals for a PSG cast-off, right? And it took him several years to get running for Red Bull Leipzig. So he's a fun player to watch, and he just pops up in all the right places, and it's great. Konrad Leimer had a great game again. Mohamed Simakan had a great game. It's just tough. Atalanta, I felt, they hit their worst run of form at the worst time, obviously, and now they're set. Not only they get booted out of Europe, they're set to probably miss out on European competition altogether because of their Serie A form. It's pretty terrible right now. So, but let's move on to the other one, because the Europa League was in multiple cases people disrespecting, right? People being naive, just a little bit like Julian Nagelsmann's treatment of Villarreal. Okay, it was all over the place versus West Ham. Lyon versus West Ham. I think it was like their club president or somebody that came out and said, "Oh yeah, we really like this matchup." And the same has to be said about Barcelona versus Eintracht Frankfurt. And I think it was Xavi himself that might have said some words that kind of got under the skin of Frankfurt, because they decided to, surprise the crap out of them. And man, somehow sneak 30,000 fans into the Camp Nou.
Exactly. Like what happened for that to no, legit. I was watching the game and I was thinking to myself, are we at Camp Nou right now? Are we at Camp Nou? And I think Ter Stegen had a chat. He trained first. He went to the locker room and he said, "We ain't at Camp Nou right now, people." This was the overall chit chat in the locker. And for Xavi, man, he was let down. He was let down by the Barcelona ticket holders. But it's all going to be redeemed because we know Laporta. Okay, he doesn't. Two mistakes don't happen in repetition with that guy, okay? So I really think that is going to be fixed. And yeah, Xavi, big up on Agnar Knopf, Lindstrom, Kostic. A lot of underrated ballers are in this Frankfurt team. And look, they're not the best in the league, but they're showing how good they are in Europa League. And against West Ham, Like, see who's going to Barcelona, but I know a ton of Frankfurt fans and West Ham fans are already getting tickets to Barcelona and hostels. Everything's full for that final. So,
are you going? Tell me you're going. You're gonna go, right?
Let's see, people. Go bold with us.
Maybe in the future. That's something we got to do.
Yes.
But I'll tell you what. We love these types of stories, and this is a big one, right? I told you there would be a hit to Xavi Ball at some point. Okay, and what happens next? What happens next will define, if this is a long-lasting thing. I mean, no, it's not the worst thing in the world that they got kicked out, but there were a lot of negative thoughts afterwards from Barcelona fans, specifically online. Maybe it was some trolling, whatever. But in the end, how they react to this and how they end the season is going to tell us everything about how scared or how scared teams need to be and how much progress Barcelona can make in the offseason before they maybe mount a La Liga title contention. I don't know, next season. Or if there's another stepping stone that needs to be.
Come on, Bretton. They haven't convinced you yet. Like, I think the only thing is, like, how are they going to play now without someone. But we'll talk about that in the Wonderkid news. But quick fire, who do you think is going to win with Leipzig and Rangers?
Yay. Rangers have been doing it without Morelos. They've been doing it without a consistent goal scorer. I think it was Kamar Roof who was the hero for them. But I got to go with Red Bull Leipzig because they're hot and they got a very good. Domenico Tedesco has got them roaring at the right time. So
I get you. I'm with you. I think they went bold with Nkunku. He keeps on proving, and I say with you, Leipzig. And now West Ham, Frankfurt. Who's your choice?
I'm with Declan Rice on this one, man. I think West Ham's going to do it. I think this is the David Moyes effect. They've got a cohesive unit. I really have nothing else to say about it. I just feel like they have the ability to get through this Frankfurt team who's tough, but definitely beatable. But then it's going to come down to a Red Bull Leipzig West Ham final. And I actually want to watch that.
Look, I'd prefer a Rangers West Ham, to be honest, but I love Leipzig because it's like it shows that this is the answer of good decisions and the correct development by a club to become great. And Leipzig just showed this is how you win. If they win Europa League, this is how you do it. Trusting the youth and occasionally buying players that are experienced. So big up on Leipzig. But yeah, we can't forget the Conference League, right? Because
just one more thing. I'm sorry. One more thing about West Ham, because this is a big stat and it just needs to be thrown out there. This is West Ham's first semifinal in a European competition in 46 years. Okay? And we get it. We talk about these London clubs. Hell, you can even throw Brentford in there, in the future as a London club that's in the Premier League. West Ham is always kind of like the one that's left out, like the redheaded stepchild or something. And this kind of identity that's been built, I don't know if it all comes down to David Moyes. Hell, I would love to know what a West Ham supporter feels like. Like, what is the maybe the top three reasons why West Ham has been so successful, because here's the other thing that I cannot believe. 2 years ago, they were essentially right above or right in the midst of a relegation scrap in the Premier League. You remember that? We were talking.
Oh, that was bad times. That shows Moyes. That shows Antonio. That shows Declan Rice. What a team.
So I just had to say that because it's mind blowing. It's 46 years. So I wish them luck. Obviously, Eintracht Frankfurt deserves to be there. They played great football. But I do think West Ham, I feel like there's almost a little bit of fate involved here now. But we'll see. But imagine if West Ham finishes this season, let alone as a European finalist, Europa League finalist. But imagine if they actually win the thing, and without having to win the Europa League, they still get they won't get Champions League football. Never mind. No TikTok highlight being taken from here.
Impossible with that Champions League. But I was feeling it, man. If they get that Europa League win, they go to the Champions League, and I'm sure David Moyes wants to solidify that, and he's got the team. So let's wait and see. Put in the comment section down below, people, if you believe in this final of West Ham against Leipzig and who's going to win. But now just having a quick chat on Conference League. Gotta say, semi-final, Feyenoord against Marseille, and the other semi-final, Leicester against Roma. And look, I'm hyped. I am hyped for this. So, yeah, I have to say, big up to Roma getting it done. Now, I'm going to say Mourinho. He's got the team tuned in, okay? Pellegrini is balling. Tammy Abraham, he's balling. And against Bodo Glimt, we all know. Yes, you mentioned Zaniolo with that hat-trick back from that ACL. Now finally showing product and the future of Italy. Looks good with Zaniolo, hopefully. So, let's see what's going to happen. And yeah, I had to mention those, man. They're really playing very well. Very well.
And it's funny because the media is already kind of treating Bodo Glimt as the minnow, right? As, Roma should have done this, should have done that. But obviously we know Bodo Glimt beat AS Roma both times out previous to this, right? So, this was, maybe they poked the bear too much. And AS Roma finally just kind of put it together. But let's be honest, that was a Nicolo Zaniolo show. 3 goals in 50 minutes. All 3 of those finishes were pretty world class. One of them, a chip over the keeper. It was beautiful to see because this is a man that has gone through not 1, but 2 ACL surgeries, and is now back in form for them at exactly the right time. So they're going to have to get by a tricky Brendan Rodgers and Leicester, who's dipping in form, but obviously have the ability to win this thing. So got to bring up, Zaniola. Zaniola was phenomenal. And then the other one I definitely have to bring up is on Feyenoord. Okay, this is a great bet.
I love it. You love him.
He's not a guy. He's not a guy we talk a lot about, but Cyril Dessers. Okay, he's on loan from Genk, I believe, or Ghent, one of the two. Okay, he has literally played 9. He's had 9 starts in both the Conference League and the Eredivisie this year. Guess how many goals he has?
2, 3.
14.
What? 2 starts?
No. In 9 starts. 9.
Sorry.
He has 14 goals. Okay? Cyril Dessers, he continues to play like he's their super sub, I guess. He plays hero time and time again. He had 2 goals versus Slavia Prague. He is tied with Tammy Abraham as joint top scorer in the UEFA Europa Conference League. It's a mouthful. He is tied for top scorer there, and he has only played 4 starts in group stages and knockout, right? He's only started 4 times for Feyenoord. So I just have to bring him up because this is a guy that did not play for Nigeria in his World Cup qualifiers recently, right? And we all know Nigeria missed out. Just saying, maybe he could have helped. Even if he came off the bench or whatever, maybe he could have gotten a start. Cyril Dessers has done nothing but playing super sub hero this year for Feyenoord, and he did it again versus Slavia Prague. So I'm going to say, while Marseille finds its way into the final every time, right, or it feels like they find their way into semifinals quite often of Europa or Europa Conference League, which they do, I'm going to say Roma, Feyenoord final.
What? Hey,
Yeah.
I go Payet and Marcel. I go Payet. Payet is too drippy and he's too lethal. But Feyenoord with Sinister, I have to mention this because you always stress a lot about him, and Colombian talent is true. Luis Sinisterra, 5 goals already, and if Feyenoord are gonna surprise Marcel, I think that's gonna be the player. And poof, you love it. And Leicester, look, against Roma, I think Leicester are dipping. And a rebuild needs to happen. And a Fofana injury, I think, was the biggest blow for Leicester this season. But, I think they need more answers, okay? And let's see. Daka seems to be really good in European competitions, so let's see if he keeps on that momentum. But I go with Roma against Marseille final because Remo, Bonala Morin. I think Morin's going to get that done with Zaniolo, Tammy, Pellegrini masterclass. And mentioning too, Cristante, he's playing really well. I was shocked. I was really good. And Smalling. I see the clip of a Manchester United fan saying that Smalling is better than Maguire. And that man was speaking fuck because Smalling, look, he's showing that he's not that bad. And with Morin. Okay, so Mourinho was the problem at United?
Yeah.
Smalling doesn't agree. Sammy Abraham, a London player, he doesn't agree. So I'm liking the vibes of Roma.
Tammy's up to what, 24 goals this season?
Oh, my God.
He's doing really, really well there. And the funny thing is I'm pretty sure he's got another gear to click into if he wants to. So who knows? Maybe it's who better to do it against than Leicester City. So we'll see. But if you're going to shout out those players, I got to shout out the one Wonderkid that was on the field there, 20-year-old Nikola Zaluski. And it might be Zalewski or Zaluski, I don't know. But he's I know there's a lot of Polish supporters that tend to put his name in comments, and we were able to watch him. He delivered the assist on Zaniola's first goal, I believe, and he's good. He looks every bit the part. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Maybe he'll go to the World Cup and maybe he'll impress. I'd love to know what people think his chances are of being on that plane and maybe being in the Polish 11 when the time comes 7 months from now. But we spent a lot of time on this the Conference League, so let's pop on, right?
Let's get to the final topic of this pod. If it's the Wonderkids in the news, and yeah, there's a lot to talk. And let's go to a game that we can pop off with a lot of youth, and it's the Dortmund game. And left back debut start. Tom Roth, he went bold, right?
He went bold. I mean, scored 24 minutes in, and let's be honest, there's really only one silver lining of having injuries all the time with a club, and that's it. If you've got a good youth academy, if you've got a good youth system, then guys like Tom Roth come in and they impress you. When Tom Roth was literally on very few people's list to watch out from the youth academy. And let's be honest, you score a goal, you score a Bundesliga goal, fine. But whether or not he becomes a fixture of the club moving forward, that remains to be seen. But you absolutely love to see it. And I'm sure you saw the picture of every one of the players around him, like patting his head, patting his back. I mean, that's the type of stuff you live for. That's just awesome. And they wiped the floor with Wolfsburg, man. I mean, they just destroyed him. And Erling Haaland was a big reason.
Yes.
Again, I mean, this kid, he has played 26 games this season. He has 33 goal involvements.
Oh, my days. Against Wolfsburg, 2 goals and 1 assist. Back from a goal drought because I was worried for Haaland. But yeah, he said to us, everything's cool. And let's wait and see for next season when I go to that team that we all, let's see, I think it's Man City. Don't want to go too much on it. But yes, Jamie Binso Chittens getting his debut too. I watched him in the youth league. Winger, former Man City academy player, just like we know, Jadon Sancho. So getting him to see getting some minutes, wonderful. And again, Dortmund trusting the youth.
Well, and let's just bring that around, and I'll just correct you. It's Jamie Bino Gittens.
Bino.
And what is great about him is when he came over, right, it was seen as a big coup. But when he came over to Dortmund, he was ready to hit the ground running. He got injured almost immediately, and he was out for like 7 months, 8 months. So he's really just starting to kick on. And he is somebody that could work his way into everyday squad contention next year because he is hot. He is hot in the youth league. He's hot in the junior Bundesliga. He is doing really, really well and impressing pretty much everybody around him. So he is definitely one. I'm absolutely amazed to see that he got his debut this season. And the funny thing is, like, we sit here and week in, week out, we talk about the fragility of a lot of these Dortmund players, right? Reyna's out. Allen's out. Zagadou seems to always be injured. And yet they are still sitting in second place in the Bundesliga. Yes. They're going to have Champions League football. They are getting the results done. I know that everybody thought that they were going to make a run at the champs this year, right? Make a run at Bayern. But in the end, they're still doing what they need to do to be top of the table below Bayern, right? So you got to give them credit there. They get it done domestically. But you're right. I don't know what they're going to do when Haaland goes because 33 goals involvements in just 26 games, and it feels like he's been injured more than that. That's impressive. Like, that is just insane. He's a machine.
Great stuff. And you say that, and I'm like thinking of the future of the Bundesliga. Like Dortmund, right now, they have the best young players in the Bundesliga with Haaland and all those. But Haaland being the creme de la creme. But now, I think after Haaland departs, the best youngsters in the Bundesliga might be Alphonso Davies and Jamal Musiala. What I saw in that Bayern game was Jamal Musiala getting a grip of that game and saying, I'm here to boss. Okay, and Musiala in a goal. He started the goal and he ended. And I was like, he's still 19. He's played at variable positions. And the experience, the body, he's looking proper. He might be one of the best players in the World Cup for Germany, Jamal Musiala. I think a ton of people are sleeping on him. Like focusing Pedri, Foden, but Musiala at Bayern Munich. Oh my days. And Davis seems to getting his groove back. And that is scary for everyone going up against Bayern Munich. And Tanguy Nianzou, 19 years old, playing. Upamecano, 23 years old, playing. So there is still a lot of youth at Bayern. And yeah, they're going
Yeah,
good.
I just don't know what are we going to do for strikers if Lewandowski leaves, if Haaland leaves the Bundesliga. Who are we looking at striker-wise?
I say Dortmund Adeyemi always, but like, come
Yeah,
on. Adeyemi was a former Bayern Munich prospect, like until the age of 10. So, the future of Germany, I think it's, I think it can be good with, I think Adeyemi. But Darwin, I see some, don't know.
Darwin would be interesting. I feel like that's almost nah, never mind. We don't need to get into that because there's more Wonderkids to talk about.
True.
And we can talk about somebody that plays in Portugal because I'm very impressed. I home in a lot on statistics. I do because it's impossible to watch all the ball in the world. And I don't get a chance to watch a guy like Fábio Vieira at Porto a lot, but I do know about him because of you, and I have seen him play thanks to the Champions League, thanks to European football. This kid has 13 starts, 13 assists, 6 goals. Okay, so he's got a goal involvement. I believe it's every 57 minutes this season, and every time I talk to you, I say, does the skill set justify his output? Or is this a sense of stat padding? Is it just him racking up goals, against crappy teams? No, this kid gets it done, right? Does he not? Am I wrong? Okay.
100%.
So why is he not linked with every major club in the world at the moment? Because it seems to me like he's a very logical target in that he has an insanely high ceiling. He's producing right now. I believe he's still on low wages, correct? I mean, he's not Mr. I don't know, Mediterranean or he's not on big baller wages, correct?
He's going to get that contract extension, though. I think he's got it already. I think he's got it. I think he's fine. At least with Judge Minge. Diogo Costa is a Judge Minge. Vitinha. Like, the future of Porto, they won the Youth League, like, at that time. And they had a ton of youth. But I love how you're saying this. And this just shows that if you watch the Portuguese League, you know who's good and who's not. And I guarantee you, every Portuguese speaker and watcher of Liga Norte or Primeira Liga knows that Fábio Vieira is a baller. Those stats you said, unbelievable. Okay, 13 assists. I thought it was less, man. He got 2 assists against Portimonense. Like 7-0 win too. But like what I highlight about Fábio Vieira is how intelligent he is. He is so intelligent off the ball. Elite movement. The technique is masterclass. And those stats, the moment he gets physically stronger, because that, in my opinion, is where he lacks the most, is physicality. He is he's sold straight away. And you said it. Everyone highlights Darwin Núñez, and you should, because he's ridiculous for a striker at 22, more than 30 goals in the league. This season. But Fábio Vieira is that underrated mention that they should get it. And if you don't get him, you'll regret it. And Fábio Vieira is that guy, man. You are so... I love that, Breton. Love that.
Yeah, and what would you say is his next logical step?
Prem.
What's a club?
Prem. I think Prem. I think, look, I'm going to say obviously Wolves will try to get him. I think he's going to cost like 30, 40. But I think like a team within a rebuild, AC Milan, they're getting this injection of 300 million that Maldini sure deserves, getting a contract renewal of Rafael Leão, but finally not signing like 1 year's obligations to buy. Weird deals, okay, that don't show the levels of AC Milan. So I'm going to go with AC Milan for Fábio Vieira, next to Tonali, Rafael Leão. Bold, so...
It sounds like we're going to be talking about AC Milan a lot this summer.
I think so.
And that's great. Well, I got a piece of propaganda that, every week I have to put out because he just continues to do it. Turkish Wonderkid.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. What do you want to call him? The Turkish? We'll call him the Turkish Ozil. We'll call him the Turkish. I don't know what you want to call him.
The Turkish
because
hope.
He plays with Ozil.
The Turkish hope since that knockout.
Yeah. Seriously. But like, here it is. Here's my Arda Güler propaganda. Kid is 17 years old. Hits another goal. Didn't start for Fenerbahce, but he hit a goal. He's got 3 goals, 2 assists, and like 230 minutes played. But that's not even the crazy part. Okay, this kid, every 30 minutes he plays, he registers a key pass. Okay, every 25 minutes he registers a dribble once. So he takes people on fearlessly, and he also can stick into a tackle. Has no problem doing that. He's got 7 tackles won. This is still a small sample size in just 230 or 240 minutes played. But I'm racking my brain with where Fenerbahce is in the Super League table. I'm racking my brain trying to figure out why they just don't give him that starting 11 for the rest of the season, right? Give him that 10 spot, give him that, and let him run with it, let him roll with it, let him make mistakes, and get ready for him next season, pulling the strings of that offense, because he makes magic happen when he comes in. So propaganda over. There it is. It's been delivered directly to you. Do with it what you will, but the kid's 17 years old, and there you go. We're going to call him the Turkish Hope. I like it.
I'll call it Arda Güler propaganda, as it should at FC Wonderkid podcast. And I'm going to go with a bit of a more known player, Vlahovič propaganda, because he got, again, like last podcast we mentioned, this one we're going to mention too, 1 point, okay? But he got that point in a late equalizer, okay, against Bologna. Vlahovič now has 50 Serie A goals at 22, okay? So please, Juve, relish him and build a proper squad next to him, okay? So that's what I gotta say on Juve. And yeah, imagine if Vlahovič wasn't at Juve, they wouldn't even get that top 4. That's what I believe, and that is madness considering how much is the wage bill at Juve. Oh, meu Deus.
I'll be honest. I'm a little more excited about how Fiorentina has been kicking on without Vlahovič. I mean, they've picked up. I don't think they get enough credit right now. Nico Gonzalez. I love that squad, and I think they have a future. And Artur Cabral. But we'll talk about that more. But Vlahovič, he's just so much. And if Juventus is gonna go after a title again, and start another career only winning Serie A every year like Bayern in the Bundesliga, it's going to center around whether Vlahovič can deliver. So it's good to see him get that goal.
I got a quick shout too on the youth league stand, because there was a derby, Sporting against Benfica. Look, Benfica won 4-0 against Sporting, but a lot of ballers are in that Sporting team, like Gonçalo Esteves, Dário Essug, Rodrigo Ribeiro, Renato Veiga, Mateus Fernandes. There's really a lot of talent, okay? Diogo Cabral. But Benfica, I'm going to highlight the big boy. Look, Pedro Sanches played really well for Benfica. Xerendur, a ton of talents to mention. Antonio Silva, Breton, don't forget this name. For me, he's going to be one of the best young center backs for Portugal. In my opinion, he already is at Benfica Academy. 18 years old, playing in the youth league, really good player. But Diego Moreira, that Benfica snatched up from Standard Liège. Winger, 2 goals, 2 assists, and my days, that kid is so good, Breton. If he was in a Ligue 1 team or Bundesliga or one of those leagues, he'd be playing right now. Diego Moreira, okay? Remember the name. What a baller, in my opinion. And Pedro Sanches too. They'll go up. They'll go up in this Benfica team. So I'd watch out.
Think he'll get his debut by the end of the year, maybe?
Diego Moreira, again, I think he deserves it with what I'm seeing. I'm seeing, he's really good. People remember him, Diego Moreira. I can't stress enough. Dribbling, fast, decision making. Like I know every scout. I know some scouts. I can tell you right now. Manchester clubs, every single Premier League club wants Diego Moreira of Benfica right now. I can tell you right now. FC Wonderkid exclusive. Okay, every single team wants Diego Moreira, as they should, because that's elite levels what we saw in the youth league.
Look at us, we're doing exclusives now. Okay, I like this. I feel like we're moving up in the world, man. As we speak, by the way, I was looking off and I've got a couple little screens here with the one with the Red Bull Leipzig. Football never sleeps.
True.
Got Red Bull Leipzig, Bayer Leverkusen. Cristo Nkunku just assisted Soboslai on the match opener. It's 1-0 in the 71st minute. So Nkunku now has 30 goals, 19 assists. Arda is already off, and he's going to hit 50. He's going to hit 50 by the end of this year. I don't know what the hell's going on. What has gotten into him?
Got to refresh
But
every
it's
second
amazing.
with him. Oh my days.
Yeah. So any other Wonder Kids, or are we calling it a wraps today? Calling it a wraps, or?
I'll have to shout out Endrick, okay? I think and another Adam Hložek. I think Nkunku is gonna leave RB Leipzig, and Adam Hložek, okay, which has already 33 goals and a bunch of assists for Spartak Prague, okay? What the future of Czech Republic, and I think the great replacement for Nkunku at RB Leipzig. Adam Hložek. Watch out. I think that's going to happen. And I just want to say, Endrick right now, Brazil is playing the Mundial de Futebol Montagu. And Endrick, okay, is destroying Mexico, destroyed Netherlands with 2 goals. And you got to watch the tape of that England goal that Endrick scored. Oh my days. Cut inside. Golazo. And I'm telling you, people, 40 million is what is being asked, okay, to get Endrick. And Palmeiras is gonna get 40 million for this kid. And it's gonna be Real Madrid most probably, because we all know Papa Perez loves the Brazilian talent.
Oh my
But he always loves it. He's always trying it. You see the Vini connection with Florentino. It's like, oh my. But Barca too, I think they're into him too, as they should. But Endrick is.
I can't believe we're talking about, a kid that young. And then again, I saw spreading on TikTok and Twitter Cristiano Ronaldo Jr. highlights these last few days as well. When's there going to be a $40 million bid for him?
That's why I really think he's not going to leave. He just loves life in Manchester. Like, the kid looks really happy. The vibes.
He does, but like a year ago, he's at Juventus and he looked happy there too. So whatever. You never know. I like that Adam Hložek shout, because the funny thing is that I actually didn't even think about Red Bull Leipzig as a future destination for him, and makes quite a bit of sense if Nkunku's leaving, and some other pieces might be on its way out the door too, because Leipzig has shown that they're not afraid to sell. The funnier thing is that our projected Europa League final, West Ham versus Red Bull Leipzig. West Ham is another club I could see coming in for him, because they have that Czech contingent, right? They've got that bit. They've got Král is Czech, right? Alex Král, who hasn't played. They've got Souček. They've got who's the other one? The fullback.
I know.
Oh, I can't remember the name right now. But I will obviously 5 minutes from now when I shouldn't say it. But imagine them bringing in a Hložek there to shore up, provide a future. Right, because you've got some names that are, probably if West Ham wants to be in the top of the table long term, right, European competition every year, they're going to need to freshen up. They're going to need to get some guys that can grow with the team. Hložek would be great there because they've got that Czech core, and I believe he's also been tied to them in the past from a transfer perspective. So it's not just pulled out of thin air. But I love that it's Leipzig and it's West Ham that we have in that final there. That could also be fighting for Adam Hložek's signature in the future.
And I have a feeling Leipzig might win both. If I'm the agent of Hložek, I'm like, put him in the Bundesliga, relish him there, let him develop there, and then get that big money move, maybe to another London team. With all due respect to West Ham, with all due respect,
there, it's a better place to grow your stardom, right? It's a better place to develop for sure in Bundesliga.
19. So people, if there's anything me and Breton have missed out in the Wonderkid news, please put down below in the comment section. And any last thoughts, Breton?
No, I think we'll just continue our World Cup groups in the future, right? We're going to keep doing those. So check out Group A, which we already have in there. And anything else on your end?
Nah, really well said, Breton. Go to check out our video of Group A, best lineup. And yes, tell us the best lineup you guys want to see. But it's next Group C. So let's see. Tell us if there's another lineup you'd prefer. And yeah, episode 52 in the wraps. I sure enjoyed this one because Ronaldo keeps on delivering me this content that I love. And please don't forget to check out fcwonderkid.com. It's a huge help for us, me and Brenton. And go to our Instagram, TikTok, and just go bold and follow us. And thank you for listening us on a weekly basis. Thank you for going bold with us. And yeah, I hope you guys have a phenomenal week. Keep on going bold.
Yeah, it was a good call. I had a feeling once we spent that much time on the Premier League, I had a feeling we weren't going to get to that. So good.